Morning everyone, thanks for joining me on this early morning stretch and flow. My name's Hannah and we're going to spend the next sort of 20 to 30 minutes just starting to slowly warm up the body for the day, a little bit of breath work, a little bit of mobility work, just to get the body moving and awake. So let's get started. You will just need your mat and we are going to begin on our backs. So just find your way down to the floor, nice and gently. And either having the knees bent or having the legs out straight on the mat. And we're going to take the arms out either side of the body, palms facing up, and gently closing off the eyes. So we're just going to spend the next sort of 5 minutes just waking up into our bodies. And we're just going to check in with how we feel. See what quality our breath is this morning. So we're going to keep our breath in through the nose and back out through the nose. And I'd like you to take that breath all the way down into your belly. So not just to your chest, all the way down into the depth of your tummy, feeling it expand. And then as you exhale, just feeling the body soften. Just noticing how we feel this morning. If there's an underlying mood. Not thinking too much about the day ahead, we're just checking in with ourselves before we get going. You may want to take one hand onto the belly and one hand onto the chest, just to feel it rise and fall as we inhale and exhale. Softening our features and our face, particularly around the forehead and the jaw. More breaths. Nice deep breaths, taking it all the way to the top of the inhale and all the way to the end of the exhale. Of your next exhale, we're just going to gently move the legs. If they're on the floor, just bending the knees, bringing the feet onto the floor, and we're going to lift the feet off the floor, knees towards the chest, and just give them a little hug. You may want to just gently rock side to side, just so you can feel your lower back and the floor below us. And then just taking the hands onto our knees, we're going to circle the hips around, so out and in, just bringing some movement into them. Might be a few clicks, a little bit of stiffness. Trying to work those circles a little bit bigger. And then just changing direction. Bringing the knees back to the middle, so towards your chest. We're just going to open the knees, the bottom of our feet begin to touch, And we're going to take the legs down onto the floor. So we're coming into a lying lotus position. So nice strong hip opener. We're not trying to strain our hips open. Just let the knees fall out either side of the body. And we're just going to take the arms overhead, just bending the elbows. Nothing too strenuous. And we're going to take 5 deep belly breaths here. So breathing in through the nose all the way down to the belly. And exhale, let it all go. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in all the way to the top. And breathing out, pushing that breath down through the body. Breathing in. And breathing out. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Just gently bringing the knees back together and just separating the feet so they're about hip width apart on the mat. We're going to take the right leg and put it on top of the left thigh. So just bringing that leg across. Just going to gently move that right knee up and down. So we're just going to start to wake up hips. Get a little bit of movement in there. And then we're going to lift the left leg off the floor. So going to try and keep a nice 90-degree angle there. Try not to let your leg drop or lift it up too high. And we're going to feed the hands around that left thigh. So one hand's going to go between the legs and one around the outside of the leg. We're going to interlace the fingers and then relax our head and our shoulders back on the mat. So just gently encouraging that left leg towards our chest. So increasing a stretch on the outside of our right hip and our glute area. Just feeling that stretch. Keep that breath and keep paying attention to that breath, and taking it all the way down to your belly. It's going to help keep our body nice and calm. And on your next exhale, I'd like to just gently encourage that left leg a little bit closer towards your chest. So we're not fighting against it, we're just increasing that stretch. One more breath. Just gently releasing the hands, placing that left leg back on the floor. And we're just going to change over. So our left foot is going to come onto our right thigh. And just gently moving that left leg up and down, just loosening up the hip. And then lifting that right leg off the floor, keeping a nice right angle on our knee, and then feeding the hands around that thigh. So one hand through the legs, and one on the outside, coming back down to lay on the mat. Just gently encouraging that leg towards the chest. So you might notice a little bit different in tightness. It might feel a little bit tighter, it might feel a little bit looser. Nice long deep breaths. Just try try and encourage that leg a little bit closer to the body on an exhale. One more breath. Just gently releasing the leg, placing the feet back on the floor, and just giving those knees a little wiggle side to side. So we're going to take a little twist. So we're going to straighten the left leg on the mat and keep that right knee bent. So bringing it up towards the chest. And we're going to encourage it across the left-hand side of the body. So take your left hand and place it on your thigh. Try not to put too much pressure on your knee. Just on the thigh, encouraging it over the body. And then just let your head fall over to the right-hand side. So a nice twist in the body. Again, stretching out a similar area to which we did in the previous stretch. So across the glute, outside of the hips. Again, not forcing that leg down, just warming through the body. One more breath. Gently releasing that leg and coming back onto your back. And we're just going to switch legs. So straightening out the right leg, bringing the left leg up towards our chest, and then taking the right hand just to encourage that thigh onto the other side of the body. One more breath. And releasing that leg, coming back onto your back. Again, just wiggling the hips, so just move the knees side to side. And whenever you're ready, we're going to either come up to a seated position, or you're just going to roll over onto your front. So we're going to move onto our hands and our knees. Start to get some movement into the body now. So hands are under shoulders and knees are under our thighs. We're going to drop the head and push the spine up to the ceiling. So we're going to take a few cat-cows. So inhaling as we keep our arms straight, draw the belly button up, arching the back. Exhale, let the chest fall towards the floor. Shoulder blades fall down the back, we're just gently lifting the head. Inhale, push the spine up. Exhale, let the chest fall. Inhale. Really tucking that tailbone under. Exhale. One more. And exhale. Lovely. Keeping the hands and knees where they are. We're going to start to move into bird dog. So our right hand is going to reach out as our left foot kicks back. So inhale, really push that foot away from you and that hand in front of you. Exhale, bring knee to elbow, add a little crunch. Inhale, reach. We're just going to do 5. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, so stretch that hamstring, engage the glute. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We've got one more. Breathing in and exhale. Take that hand and knee back onto the floor. We're going to repeat on the other side. So inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. Three more. Inhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Place hands and knee back on the mat. So we're going to move into pyramid pose. So we're going to take the right foot in between the hands. So it's nice and flat, toes pointing straight in front of us. And we're going to then tuck the back foot in a similar position, but slightly back. So the aim of this stretch is to hit the hamstrings. So your feet want to be pointing forward. The back foot doesn't want to be turning out. It may naturally do that if you do feel particularly tight. So have a shuffle with your feet. You might want to bring them closer to increase the stretch, or you might want to take it further back. But heels want to be planted on the floor. You can add a slight bend into that front leg if it feels quite tight around the knee area. And if it is really, really tight, you can come up and take your hands onto your thigh and just fold forward. Otherwise, we're going to take hands either side of the front foot, and we're going to completely relax the neck. So aiming to get your nose to knee, that's how relaxed you want the neck. And just pushing those big toes into the floor, so that's switching on hamstrings. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here. Really breathing into those tight areas. Trying to keep that breath nice and steady. Got one more breath. Just gently lifting the head, and we're going to switch feet. So step your back foot to your front foot, and then just take that one back. Same position, so heels flat on the floor, toes facing forward, either coming up onto the thigh or hands on the floor. Relaxing the head, so nose to knee. Breathing into the stretch here. Nice steady breath. Just allow it all to release. One more breath. Gently lifting the head, stepping your back foot to your front foot so your feet are touching now. We're going to slowly move into our flow. So you're going to bend the knees here. Inhale, lift the arms up above the head. So we're coming into chair pose. So now we're going to start to really switch on the legs. So think about drawing in the core. Relax around the shoulders and the neck. See if you can sink a little deeper. Inhale, start to straighten the legs. We're going to open up the arms as we take the right foot back into a warrior 2 position. So our left foot stays facing forward, and our right foot has a slight angle here at 45 degrees, just to protect that knee. Relax the arms. Lunge into that front leg, so both feet are planted on the floor. Breathe here. Think about rolling open thighs. Inhale, turn that front hand up, leaning back so that front arm comes up to the ceiling. We're going to come into crescent. Right hand comes onto the back of the calf, looking up to the ceiling. Inhale, come back to warrior 2. Exhale, step the back foot to the front, coming back to chair pose. Good, hands come down to the mat, either side of feet. We're going to step back into a high plank. Now we're going to drop to the knees and slowly lower the chest to the mat. Inhale, gently lift the chest, either coming up into cobra or upward dog. Exhale, tuck the toes under, coming back to downward dog. So just walking through the feet nice and gently. Good. Step the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, come back to chair pose. Breathe here. Inhale, lifting up, so straighten the legs. Exhale, step it back into a warrior two. So here you want to think about thighs rolling back, torso is facing direction of hips, relaxing around shoulders and arms. Inhale, keep the legs where they are, but lifting the arm up. Back hand comes onto the back leg, looking up to that hand in the air. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, bring those arms forward into chair pose. Bring the arms down either side of the feet. Step it back into high plank. Shake out the legs if you need to. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, either drop to the knees or lower down into press. Inhale, lift the chest either into cobra or upward dog. Exhale, tuck the toes under, coming back into downward dog. Walking through the feet. Nice deep breaths. Let the head hang heavy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to gently bend the knees so they come down to the width of the mat, dropping them down to the floor, untucking the toes and coming down into child's pose. So bum down on the heels of the feet, relax the head on the mat, and arms are overhead. Keeping your body where it is, we're going to walk the hands over to the left hand side as far as we can go, keeping the head on the floor. So the idea here is to create as much space as possible between the top of that middle finger on the right arm, right hand even, and all the way down to the outside of the right hip. So we're trying to create a nice big stretch down the side of the body. 3 deep breaths into that right hand side of the rib cage. Releasing all those little muscle fibers. And walking the hands back over to the mat and over to the right hand side. So creating that same stretch, but this time from the top of the middle finger on the left hand all the way down to the outside of the left hip. 3 deep breaths. Walking the hands back to the mat. And just gently coming up onto all fours. Tucking the back toes under, coming back to a downward dog. So think about trying to push the heels down to the floor. Spread the fingers nice and wide, pushing the knuckle pads on the palm into the floor. Chest back to thighs. So let the head hang. Might want to give it a little wiggle. And then we're going to take one last big step to the top of the mat. And just gently bending the knees as we slowly unroll. up to a standing position. And just take a deep breath. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Give your hands and your feet a little wiggle. Bring some energy back into the body. And we are finished. You're ready to start your day. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you on Friday at 6:30 p.m. so we can unwind for the weekend. Have a lovely day, guys.